Hi Flosstubers, my name's Claire. I design under the name Love Poppet. For those of you who don't know, this channel's all dedicated to cross stitch, and this is my fourth one, so I'm still fairly new at all this. And today is the 5th of July, 2024. And yeah, welcome back if you've been here before. Hello if you're brand new. It's been about 3 weeks since I last filmed, mainly because behind this wall is a little shower room and we're getting that done at the moment. So today there's no work happening, so it's nice and quiet. I can get away with filming and show you what I've been up to stitchy wise. The other things that have happened recently, I think I mentioned on an earlier YouTube that my eldest had finished her first year at uni, so we had to move her out of halls. Well, she's now got her new accommodation, so we had to move her back, which was fun and lots of dashing around where I could have done with it another day, but it's done now. She's half living here, half living there, because obviously it's more fun living with her friends and stuff. So that's what my life's been, just doing. But the other things, well, we did have a sunny spell here in Kent and it was lovely and really nice weather, but it's now raining all the time. And looking at my weather app, it's gonna rain for most next week as well, so that's fantastic. But at least I'm more likely to do a bit more stitching. But while it was nice weather yesterday, I had a little play, and it was my first time at dyeing my own fabric, so I got myself some Rit dye and I had a go, and I'm quite pleased with what I've done. It was a white 28 count and it's now a peachy coloured with a very subtle mottling, but I'm really chuffed. That is my first attempt. I was a bit worried about so many things. I've learnt so much as I had a go. Mainly I was worried about when it dried, if it got any lines anywhere or anything like that. And I obviously need to serge the edges because they're fraying a bit. And I did wonder if you meant to serge before you dye or if you serge after you dye. But anyhow, I'm really pleased with that. I think it looks a really lovely colour and I think it'll come in handy. I'm hoping you can see it, and there's the back. But it is quite hard to tell as you're doing it if you're getting a good pattern or not, isn't it? But anyhow, first go, I'll show you any others that I have a go at along the way. There's kind of a blue I've got in mind that I just haven't seen anywhere as yet, and so I might have a go at doing that. But really, I shouldn't be doing any of this because for those of you in the UK, you probably know Megan from Coffe Craft Fabrics did another Sunday sale about a fortnight ago, and it just so happened it coincided with me at a family Barbie where there was a few fizzy pops going around and what have you, and I didn't realise. I just kept logging on but ordering some, and yeah, I maybe spent a little bit too much with Megan. She was probably very pleased with it all, but I didn't realise how much until the next day when she sent me the invoice, and you thought like, did I log on that many times? But like I said, I think I was just in a jolly mood and just kept going, yeah, why not? It's just another piece of fabric. I'll make use of that. Anyhow, so yeah, I shouldn't really do any more dyeing of my own because I have a rather large wad of fabric coming. But anyhow, there you go. So on to my stitching. I actually have a finish, which is good for me, and I've put it down here. So for those of you who remember, I've been doing the 3 of Crafts by Night Spirit Studio, and I have finished it, and just look at how fantastic that looks. I'll try and move, my nails are a bit bright, aren't they? But yeah, look at that. I think that is just gorgeous. Really beautiful, and it's so striking. I think it's amazing. So yeah, got that one finished. The only issue, which is completely my fault, is I obviously didn't plan what I was going to do with this afterwards. I thought it was going to go into a little hoop, well, maybe an 8-inch hoop, but I've not really left myself any space either side. You know, I've only got probably 10 stitches worth, and it isn't even like I've got loads at the top and bottom either. So yeah, slight mess up, but I think it looks amazing. I really love that one. But yeah, so I've actually finished one since I've been doing Flosstube, so I'm very excited with that. Yeah, so what's that one? I don't know. Right, so sorry, getting distracted by my own packs. So the next one that I have not completed but getting well on with is the Poisonous Plants by the Witchy Stitcher. Let's see, I've got that right. So as you can see, I probably have a photo of where I got to, and then last time, and then I have now got to here. So as you can see, I've got most of the plants done. I think I've done the whole frame, although I'm missing a bit over at the top end there. But yeah, I think I've got all the frame and most of the plants, and so I've just got to finish off those couple of plants and do the back stitching, long stitching, whatever you call it, to make the writing, and it'll look great. This one's obviously on a 14 count Aida, as was the 3 of Crafts that I just showed you. I did see Jen of Jen's Fiberweb. She'd done this one. I don't know which, because I've been binge watching her episodes, so it might not have been recent at all, but she had done one of these, and she'd done it on a small account, I'm sure it was, because it was a much dinkier size, and she'd got an absolutely perfect green frame for it. So now I wish I had been that prepared and got myself organised, because I think that one would look really lovely. She'd managed somehow to find a frame that was pretty much this green, the nice olivey green, with a slight touch of either a paler green or like a yellow on the frame. It looked really nice framed up like that. So yeah, so that is another one fairly done. I would expect by the next time I do a Flosstube, I should have that one as a finish. And if I can find a frame, even better. And then because, oh, actually I've just dropped that, haven't I? Because I'm nearly done with that, obviously the plan then will be to move on to that one, which Leave Me Alone. I am cross stitching, which was her Patreon pattern last month, May, maybe. Yeah, that is a definite plan of what I'll be doing. So hopefully next time I'll show you a start on that as well, if everything goes to plan. Yeah, to plan. And also with that one, part of the reason of me spending so much with Megan from Coffe Craft Fabric is that I want to do, I'm hoping one of the fabrics I bought that will suit that pattern. So we'll wait and see. Okay, next one was Bird Nerd by Boomerang Stitches. I feel like I've really pushed on with this one. Where's my little book gone? Oh God, I'm so disorganised. hopefully this will show up anyway. There. If I do that, I can see you. There you go. That's as far as I've got. Well, I've done the nerd. And I've actually completed this bird. I'm pretty sure he's done. And maybe that one's fully done as well. Looking at that. I think looking at it, I might have decided to do this whole half. Because the text is done. I just need a few leaves, maybe a berry. And then the rest of this branch down here. And I will have nearly halfway, I would say. But that's lovely, isn't it? This is the one which I'm not really sure where the fabric came from. It's an old one, but I think it's about 28 even weave, and it's the starchy one. That doesn't feel nice. Yeah, using all the called for, as far as I know, that I remember, yeah. Obviously, Boomerang Stitches is Amity from Hathaway Stitchers. Since I last filmed, I've been watching, or they released the one where it was about their stitch along the Garden of Zig. And before that, I had never been tempted to stitch the Garden of Zig. But now, after seeing all the different versions of the different colourways and how people went about it, it's actually something now I could really be tempted into. So if you haven't seen that or haven't seen all the different versions, it's really worth doing, really worth looking at, because, you know, what a great idea, getting one pattern and just doing anything but the called for, and see what everybody else does, and everybody stitched in secret or in private or whatever. So yeah, it's a nice thought that, to try it out. But so anyhow, that's not that one. So the next one that I've done is Garden of Dreams by Barbara Anna. This one is another one that I think I could easily get finished by next time. I'm feeling pretty confident about that. Isn't she gorgeous? So I've stitched her with all the called for on a 32 count even weave by Zweigart in natural. Yeah, it's just gorgeous. So as you can see, I think I've got most of it done. I just need to come down here with the green and fill in this bit, but part of me quite likes not having a bit of green missing, actually. But I think there's something nice about it. It's kind of drooping down. There's obviously some sort of like branch or something here that I haven't got round to, maybe some berries, and there's some on this side as well. And then the only colour that I didn't have out of the whole lot is this for the cheek, that you can see there. And so that one might not be called for, because I can't be bothered to buy a skein just for about 12 stitches, whatever that is. But yeah, I would like to bet that by the next Flosstube, that one will be completely finished. Yeah, and she is gorgeous. I've really enjoyed stitching her. Yeah, very clever person, Barbara Anna. Okay, so then my next one is the Prairie Schooler. This one I am doing, I'm doing with Witchy Stitcher is doing a stitch along called, what is it, Cross Stitch for Christmas, hashtag Cross Stitch for Christmas, or hashtag CSFC. I'll check it and write it on the bottom. Anyhow, and it's basically on the 25th of each month you stitch something Christmassy. So I thought I'll do that. So this is May and June's progress, and then obviously there's Christmas for July, or Jolly July, or whatever the latest ones are. So you could be stitching a lot more, and I think I probably will start doing a few more Christmassy ones this month, but just at the moment I just haven't had a chance really. I thought with all the euros on and stuff I'd get more stitching time, but it turns out I don't at all. I have to actually pay attention, which is annoying. Anyhow, so that's how far I've got with this Santa. I am doing this on another Coffe craft fabric, which is a 32 count even weave. And I think the size is great. I'm a little bit worried now that I've gone on too grungier kind of fabric. As you can see, I'm just worried about how jolly it'll look when it actually comes to Christmas. And I've also, since I've started stitching this, been thinking I wouldn't mind this doing the whole lot of Santas eventually, because there's, I don't know, 30 of them. I don't know how many there are actually. They've been going since the 80s, haven't they? So maybe it's more 40 or 50 years. But anyhow, there's a lot of them. And I thought it'd be quite fun to do them a bit like bunting. So every year you can add on a few and you've got more Santas going round. I thought that'd be quite fun. So I think the next one I do, I will choose a jollier fabric, have the plan that they're going to be turned into bunting eventually, and this one may have to get restitched along the way, or I might just live with it as it is, and he's just put in the dark corner, maybe something like that. You know, there's always a way to get around these things, isn't there? Yeah, so that is, yeah, did I say it's, I did say it's Prairie Schooler, didn't I? Yeah. So, oh, and that was it. And this is something as well, actually, which I did think as I was ironing it, because this is a bit of a grungier fabric, but I love it. Don't get me wrong, I am more of a grungy kind of person, really, but it just doesn't seem very festive, does it? I'm thinking that one could be perfect for Leave Me Alone, I'm cross stitching. I think that with those gorgeous yellows and oranges would stand out really nice on there, and obviously the black and cream would definitely. So I think I should check the sizes there and work that one out, but I'm pretty confident that could be a plan in itself. Okay, so the next thing, I normally show Olga's stocking by Plum Street Samplers, but as I got everything out, I was giving it all an iron before I started this floss tube, and I realised I haven't even touched it since last time, which was quite a shock for me because I really liked that one and I thought I had worked on it, but evidently there was no difference. So I've obviously got distracted by shinier new things, little toys and such. And the main one, I guess, that I've got really distracted by is a very clever Artsy Housewife. I'm sure I won't be the only one either who really likes her designs, and, you know, just, yeah, it all looks great, doesn't it? So anyhow, I have started doing the Bucket of Blooms, it's called, which was one of her Patreon patterns. I think this could be blooms. Yeah. So it's Bucket Full of Blooms. Maybe it's July. I can't remember. But it's going to look like that. Which I really like the bird on this. And I was intrigued how the flowers and stuff would work out. So for this one, I haven't gone for the called for. Mainly because I've decided to do it on a 28 count even weave, which is purple. So I might be wrong here, and for whatever reason I started with the dullest part of the cross stitch pattern. I started with just a plain grey bucket. I don't know if in my head I just thought get it over and done with, you know, because it's going to be the least fun. But I started down here. Really seems random to me. I didn't even start with any of the frame bit. You know, that would have been quite a regular place to start, wouldn't it? So there's plenty of nice pretty frame to do. No, I started with a grey bucket. There is literally no rhyme or reason to my stitching process, I don't think. I am a little bit worried about this green. I think it stands out nice against the purple, but it's just against the other darker olive green. So I may change the greens up as I go along. So I thought maybe after doing the bucket, I'm going to start with one of the flowers that goes here in the centre and check my colours that I've chosen for that. And if that all looks quite good, then I'll see if the leaves go well. But yeah, basically, I'm kind of choosing colours on a similar theme to what was suggested. But I wasn't convinced they'd all stand out against this purple. So I thought I'll just switch a few up. But I've got them pretty much here. Maybe I'll put it over this fabric. As you can see, this is the kind of colour range that I've decided to go for. Hopefully you can see them all there. And then there's black as well, but these are all my offcuts. So yeah, no nice system for them. You've got to use everything up really, don't you? But there, I think those colours will look quite nice against there. But like I say, I might change my mind as I go along. I'm known for doing that really. I don't know if it's because I think of something better or I don't trust myself. So obviously that is one of the Artsy Housewives that have come out recently. And the other one, I'm doing that one as well. So the other one, which I would imagine a lot of people have seen, because it's also going to be a stitch along with the Artsy Housewife, is called Within a Dream. Can you see that? And as soon as I saw that, I thought, oh, that is gorgeous. Had to have it. Because this is actually a tier 4 Patreon chart, and I wasn't in tier 4 before this chart came out. So that just shows how much I really liked this one. And I had to start it that night. So once again, I am using my own kind of fabric and thread choices, and it was only when I was ironing beforehand that I realised I'd chosen a lilac for this. So it's another purple. I must have thought Artsy Housewife goes with purple for some reason. So this is how far I've got so far. I've just started putting together the really lovely border. I don't know if you can see that. So I am choosing my own colours once again. However, in the pattern, it did call for Dragonfly and Moss by the Gentle Art Threads. So I did buy that because I just thought, well, I thought it was quite intriguing actually. Can you see that? It's sort of like browns into a tan. It'd be better if I went like that maybe. And then I've got Dragonfly, which I've been watching the Artsy. So those two colours were definitely called for. I think my green fingernails distract, don't they? So that has got a lovely pop of cyan running through. It's looking a bit green there, isn't it? Is it good? Can't really get the colour to show up very well there. Oh well. I've seen the photos from Gigi that she's put up on her Patreon for when she's stitching hers, and her cyan bit is so bright. It looks amazing. It really pops out really clear. Mine doesn't seem to be doing that, but I guess that's just the sort of process, isn't it, of dyeing stuff. Those are the other colours that I've chosen so far. These ones that are still in skeins are because I'm not sure, basically. that means I haven't committed to them fully. Yeah, so if you can see, that one is the dragonfly one, the one that should have strong bits of blue. You can see the blue coming through, and then this little leaf here is in the moss. There. I think you just get it there, don't you? Yeah. So anyhow, I think overall that one will look quite nice. It's on a like light lilac fabric, which has got a kind of peachy pink mottling over the top. Yeah, be really nice. And in my head, I'm seeing that as a bit of a Halloween piece, mainly just because it's got a big black crow on it, isn't it? But so maybe that's why the purple felt like it suited that one. So yes, did I say that? Obviously that's the lilac was a coffee craft fabric again. That one was an 18 count Aida that I've done. It's my first time stitching on an 18 count Aida, and seems really easy to work with, to the point where I'm now thinking I might try 20 next time, but I doubt I bought any on this day when I was at the barbecue. I don't think I would have thought about, I've probably bought everything the same size as each other, but we'll see, you know. Yes. So what else have I got here? And I should have actually said the hashtag for the stitch along. Can't remember it off the top of my head. It's probably Within a Dream, Sal, or something along those lines, but I'll put it along the bottom if I remember. Okay, so then the next one, next shiny new thing, which I've done, is Started Light by Barbara Anna. And this one, I believe Sally from Flossie Sews and Grows and Sarah from Sew Me Sarah, I hope I've got this right, that they're doing this as a stitch along. I think it's part of their 50 starts for 50, and I'm sure this is one that they're both starting together, but now I'm saying it out loud, I'm doubting myself. Anyhow, I'm sure it is, because I saw it on there and thought, I've got the light, I would really like to do that. So I have chosen to do mine on a 32 count dark olive Zweigart Belfast linen, and I've only started it last night, and this is I was desperate to start it, but my hubby wanted us to discuss other things and watch the politics and what haven't you, so that is all I got done. But yeah, I think that's, well, it's not an all right start really, that's pretty pitiful, isn't it, really? This is the first time I'm having to use a ring light as my light and not use the natural light. It doesn't really show up the colours very well. I'd say, looking at the screen there, the olive green of this fabric is a lot darker. But hopefully as I progress, it will, I'll get a shot one day where it looks the right colour. Yeah. Oh well. Yes, so that is the light. I'm using all the called for DMCs on that one, unless I come across something that doesn't really show up against the green. But I'm sure the pattern was against a dark colour when I first saw it anyway, so I'm sure it will work. Okay, so that is pretty much the stitching I've got done. I did tell you last time that I was wanting to start the Spider Banner by Alessandra Adelaide, which I think I showed you the fabric. I'll just quickly show you it again, which I've chosen, which is a 40 count even weave, which that's going to be good for the old eyes. Well, what I did do was I started to put, well actually I've got the pattern there, I'll just show you the pattern. So that is for those who didn't see it, that is the pattern, or the cover image. So that is how it should be. I've been pulling out some threads, and I decided I would do the palest, there's sort of like 2 pale cobwebs in it. So I was thinking about going like a cream or a very pale tan, as you can see it. Or even, I'm quite tempted to go this kind of colour against this. Now actually looking at, I'll have to take this out of the bag. Looking at it with this light, it doesn't show up very much at all. But I did get it in my head that this would work great in reality. So if I put those 2 there, those definitely would show up quite nice on here. Where's the other 2? Yeah, it's going to be quite subtle, isn't it? But in reality, up close, it looks really good, I think. And anyhow, so I decided, I might just leave that there. So I decided to do those. And so because of that, I thought at the bottom here, there's this kind of reddy orange bit. Now, I don't know if that is meant to be some sort of flames or cobwebs. I'm not really sure what that bit is of the pattern. So I had decided this would be a great colour on here, because it'll show up enough, but it's not going to be the main factor. And then I also thought the spider would be quite nice if it was a dark green, a real kind of bottle green kind of look. So that was my plan. But then I did a bit of shopping and I found what I think are just so gorgeous. I got a selection. So to start off with, for that flamey bit at the bottom, I came across Habanero by Sampler Threads, well, the Gentle Art. And can you see this? It's looking a lot warmer there than I think. But it's, do I have something white? Was it right behind that? Yeah. Such a lovely thread, this one. So I'm going to put that at the bottom, which will definitely show up beautifully. And then for the spider, I got, now I think I've decided on Needleworks Juniper. Shall I put that bit of white back up? But I've also got Peacock, which is a bit of a bluer version, which just looks lovely. And just for good measures, I got myself eggplant if I wanted to go a bit purplier. You can see that one. See, we're all on a theme. And I also got onyx, which is black. We've got fathom, which is like a really dark blue purpley colour, and molasses, which is more towards browns, and gunmetal, which is obviously just a grey if I wanted to play it safe, but I think gunmetal is my least favourite. So each one of those would look gorgeous against this, and actually onyx looks really good against there, this one, but you're not getting to see what it really is like. This is when I need the sun back again really to show you. But yes, so I'm pretty sure it's going to be, when I come to stitch it up, it's going to be, at the moment, juniper. but there's a good chance it could be onyx. Yeah, I think it's going to be one of those two. I just think it might be quite interesting to see the spider in green. And I had toyed with the idea of putting a, what do you call it? One of those little filaments that glow in the, that's like a glow in the dark. Is it Cryonic? I was looking at them and I was going to mix it in for the cobwebby bits. But then I forgot to buy it. I forgot to put it in the basket. So I didn't buy it in the end, so I'll do without. It was a nice idea. I'll do it another time. But I did think this one would look quite cool if it glowed in the dark when you turn the lights off, because I'm hoping this will be in our hallway. But yeah, so that is the plan for the spider banner, so that one should get started in the next few weeks for definite. Yes, obviously I'm getting into that phase where I just want to start everything. I'm not too bothered about whether I finish them or how far I get. So that one I've kind of worked out. I've got a fairly good plan. My other one that I think I've got a good plan is this one, which I did show you before, that I got the pumpkin house by Hello from Liz Matthews, which, if I show you that there, the pumpkin house, yeah, which is lovely. But with this one, I have been toying with the idea. This is one that I do have a thing with blues. I keep looking at blues and I just don't seem to like any. And I think that's why I've been thinking about dyeing my own, because I just keep, they're never what I want. So anyhow, I have decided to try this one, and I do know I'm going to have to change some colours to make it work. On this green, I have got, if I open this one, I have got a lovely tanny beigey base here. These are both 32 counts from Coffe Craft Fabrics. See, Megan does very well out of me. Yeah, that's really nice there, isn't it? So then I thought with this one, this could make a really nice kind of sky to go with it. I think this one, once upon a time I said, would be for the Lullacroix stitch along. You all know it, you know what I'm thinking of. The current one that I was going to start, and then I decided I didn't want to because I'd just feel guilty that I wasn't keeping up, and now I'm pleased because I'm doing the Artsy Housewife one instead. I'm not very good at keeping up with stitch alongs, so I might as well limit them. I can't really show both of these at the same time, can I? I'm not very good at all this. So yeah, I'm thinking this one for the sky bit behind the house. I think the creams, the greys, the oranges, all of that will work great on there. And I'm just going to have to fiddle with the stalks on those plants there and find different kind of looks. But I think maybe that kind of sky would be quite nice. Yeah. So that is my plan for that. So I'm hoping that one will get started as well. Yeah. Right, so what else had I got? So those are all everything that I've stitched and everything that I've planned to stitch and semi-kitted up. I don't really like to think I've kitted anything up because I've changed my mind so many times. So then following on from the Hello from Liz Matthews bit, I thought it was only fair to try out one of her mum's patterns as well. So I've chosen to do Caught in the Swirl by Kathy Barrick. I just think that is so lovely. But I haven't even chosen what fabric that's going to go on. I haven't made any more plan than buy the pattern. So that one is for the future, and I'm not even sure how far along in the future that one will be, to be honest, because that's just the way it goes. The other one that I bought, I think I got these when I got the fabric threads, those little Weeks Dye Works threads. I got a couple of patterns at the same time. So the other one that has really captured me this year is the Peacock by Cottage Garden Samplings. I think that is one of the most prettiest peacocks I've ever seen, and I absolutely love it. I don't know if I've ever said this before, but this house that we're in, we've been doing it up for years. We put an extension on about 8 years ago, and when the guys came to dig out all the earth where the extension was going, they piled it all up into a massive mound. And anyhow, that weekend, for whatever reason, there was a massive storm here. A peacock just appeared. Don't know where it came from. It kind of came in the storm, which was really weird. And it decided this was its new home. So throughout us building the extension for this house, and it was months and months and months of work, this peacock was here every day. It just, I think it liked the big pile of mud, basically. I think it liked to go through it and find whatever it would eat. I don't know if it'd be worms. They're quite meat eaters, aren't they? I don't know. Anyhow, and it would be on, we had scaffolding around the house. It would climb up the scaffolding even though the builders were on the scaffolding. It would, actually this was my daughter's bedroom at the time, and she'd wake up every morning and the peacock would look in the window while she was getting dressed and stuff like that. It would just be there to welcome her each morning. So we have got really fond memories of having a peacock here. And in actual fact, the peacock ended up living with us for 2 years before a fox came along, and that was the end of the peacock. And we named ours Pepper Peacock. So now I can't resist when I see a beautiful peacock, and this is such a beautiful one. I can't wait to do that one. And I've kind of got it in my head that I might be stitching that one over Christmas. It's just something that I think I could easily take. I'll go back home to Yorkshire for a bit over Christmas, and it's one that I can take with me and just stitch in the car. And yeah, I'll look forward to that, and all the family will like seeing the peacock again. I'm sure everybody's sweet on peacocks now. Anyhow, so that is that plan. And then the other pattern that I'm really excited to start, but haven't got any fabric sorted out, is Books and Night by Tidy Patterns. Now this one came up on my Etsy of things I might like. It just kind of came up, and when I saw it I thought, oh, that's amazing. So I went and bought it, and then I noticed on Instagram, I've forgotten which one it is. It's one of the girls from the Thread Gremlins. She had posted that she had got this and she was going to start it. And I believe she has started it. I'm sure they mentioned it on their last Flosstube. Or she's at least chosen fabric and threads for it. And I know she's going for a different colourway. And I had thought that as well, because I'm not really that kind of blue and red mix. But the overall look of that piece, I just think is gorgeous. So like I say, I can't remember which one it is from the Thread Gremlins. I've got a funny feeling it's the one that's often behind the camera. Yeah, I should have looked up the names. I'll put it up bottom. Yeah, so anyhow, I'll be watching hers with a lot of interest, because it might help me choose my colours, whether I like the way she's going about it or not. But that one I think is beautiful. I will really be desperate to start that one very soon. Yes, so that is pretty much it. The other things I just was going to tell you about was my Love Poppet bits. To start off with, which is kind of exciting, I've started my own Patreon, which I've just done just to see how it goes and stuff. I have really enjoyed being part of other people's Patreons, and I just thought it's quite an interesting thing. And I'm hoping, the big plan, I've started off with 1 tier. The plan is to eventually get to 3 tiers, so that if you would like, you can get 1, 2 or 3 PDFs each month. But that obviously means I have to up my game design wise and definitely get them, you know, 3 patterns designed every month. But I actually am looking forward to that challenge to see if I can do that. You know, when you work for yourself, part of the problem is working out what you're going to do. You don't really have a brief. You don't really have a timeline. You know, you set them all. So I'm hoping this gets me into a really good system. Anyhow, so just so you know, the June one has been out and it's just about to finish, so it's probably pointless me putting it there. But anyhow, I named this one the Strawberry Thief, but they're in my in the Patreon thing, I actually put 3 different versions, because this is the other thing that I thought I could use Patreon for, is sometimes I can't decide which I do. Generally on most of my patterns I do about 4 different versions, and then I choose which one I like best. So it's quite a laborious process being in my head. But anyhow, this one I've called Strawberry Thief because I just had this idea of a little mouse, and I didn't know if I could draw a mouse at the time. You know, I am sort of pushing myself each time I do a design. I like to think I try and not copy what I've done before and just try and push it a little bit further and try new things. So I just had this idea of a little mouse stealing some strawberries. So, but then I've done a different version, which is where it says life is sweet, because I kind of thought this one could be quite nice as a little small cushion. So anyhow, so that was June's pattern, and my original plan was my Patreon would run from the 7th to the 7th of each month, and on the 7th there'll be a new pattern. I just like the number 7 really, so I thought I'd do that. But now I'm wondering whether I should go for the 15th, because that will be mid-month. And basically, originally I wasn't going to do that because on the 15th is when my subs boxes always get released, and I just thought I don't need any more hassle. Subs boxes take up a lot of my time and what have you. But I have made the decision to have a little break from the subs boxes, which will be, it's a bit of a scary position for me to do. I've had really good commitment from people. They've been so generous in buying my boxes, and a lot of people have pretty much bought every box that I've made. But I'm kind of finding it a little bit restricting with my time. Like I say, there's a lot of work that goes into them, and doing it every other month, I just I do enjoy doing them, don't get me wrong, I do enjoy doing them, but I just feel like I want a different challenge, and so they're gonna go on a little bit of a pause at the moment, because that's part of the thing about having your own business as well, is trying something out, see if it works for you. It is only me who designs everything and makes all the boxes and packs everything and sources all the elements, and I'm finding that is taking me away from the design side, and I would just so want to design. I want to make more patterns, and I think generally that is what people are wanting, is the patterns. So yeah, it's a little bit scary, but I'm going to give it a whirl. So for probably the rest of this year, there won't be any more subs boxes from Love Poppet. But hopefully if I do other stitch alongs, I can then do a little box set that goes with that stitch along on a theme. Or I was thinking I could maybe do a special Christmas box, you know, something like this. So I don't think it'll be the end of me doing a nice little box of little bits that you can collect and, you know, hopefully everybody enjoys. But it's just going to be a little bit of a pause on the subs boxes, and I feel like I'm going to get told off for saying that. But I guess it's my business, it's my choice, so sorry. Anyhow, going back to this one there, the Strawberry Thief. So I don't know if he might be up till the 15th now. He was meant to leave on the 7th, but I think there's something quite nice about doing it mid-month as well, swapping over. Because then I thought people who sign up for July now, they will still get, if they sign up now, they'll still get June's pattern, but they'll also get July's pattern when it flicks over. So, you know, I kind of quite like that. So you get a double whammy. And anyhow, so that one I did start stitching like this. And this is on a 14 count Zweigart in natural. But then that's as far as I've got, because now I've decided I want to make it into a little cushion, and this is going to end up too big to be a little cushion. So I am hoping there was, oh, it's my Barbarana Garden of Dreams. There's loads of fabric on the edge of that. I'm going to snip a bit off and start this one again on that, I think. Because I think it'll look nice on this kind of natural colour. But yeah, that just looks a bit big for me. I can't think how I would use him afterwards. So yeah, so that's what I was saying about how I was going to use Patreon, is that I can design more, put more out there, but also, like when I can't decide between patterns, I can put it out there and people can vote, or people can help me choose the name for the pattern, because I hate naming patterns. It's something that I tend to stress about, and it's really stupid. It doesn't matter. People go by the visual, really. But I am a visual person. I'm not really a good with words person. You've probably noticed along the way. Yeah. So it could be goodbye to the, well, it is going to be goodbye to the subs boxes for a while. It doesn't mean they won't come back. But for now, I think they're going to disappear and give me a little bit of headspace to get other things in motion. And one of the things that I'm going to try now is, obviously with my kits, I've always put in a pattern. Well, now I've started to print the patterns like this. So you get, I'll show a bit of the pattern there. You get the pattern sheet, and it'll be a black and white. Like, there you go, you can see the start of that. And you get a nice cover image with the information on the back. So I thought that's how I'm going to put them in my kits from now on. But I'm also going to get some of these like little cello bag things that you get. Probably more like that one. And so it just goes in. Oh no, it's the same size. There you go. So it's going to be like that. So then I thought I might try to start selling just the patterns on their own. When I went to the Stitch Festival in Angel in March, I took a few patterns just that I'd printed out and stuff, and they proved to be very popular. So I thought I'll do a range, because there's so many people now who don't need the kit. They've got their own threads, they've got their own set of DMCs or whatever flosses they want to use, or threads. So I might as well just do them the pattern. And so because I've got that one printed out, because that is my latest subs box, that one will go out on the 15th of this month, and that will be the last subs box for a while. The Everything's Peachy, which you've probably seen. So while I got those printed, I also did two others, which are, well, actually I did three others. I did the Feeling Festive Advent Calendar, because that's always a popular pattern. and the Driving Home for Christmas one, because that one's proved to be a really popular pattern as well. And the third one is going to be, well, I did get it printed, the Dreaming of Summer stitch long, which is currently running. So I've got that all printed up, all ready to go, but obviously I can't show you the picture because nobody's had the final piece of the pattern yet. So they don't know what happens in that top area of the stitch long, which that bit gets released next Thursday. I'm hoping you're all going to be really pleased with how it looks. I can't wait to show everybody what the finished design looks like myself. Anyhow, then fine, there's just two last things. I did the previous subs box that I did, which was the Balloon Fiesta one. I had included one of these round discs. There was just one person got in touch with me saying, what's the wooden disc in the box? And I just assumed everybody knew what it was, so I hadn't even thought to explain myself. So anyhow, I did a post on Instagram saying these are what I call a butt. I don't know if there's a better name for it, but it's basically for when you've finished your cross stitch and you've got it in a nice hoop, you just fold in the fabric as best you can, pop it in the back, just press it in like that, and it's finished. It's a really quick and simple way to finish off your cross stitch. And then I've put a little hole in there so you can easily pull it out if you want to swap your cross stitch over. Or so there's no fancy way of finishing off. It is a, I can see some people would see that as a bit of a cheats version, but there you go. I don't mind a bit of cheating. I'll in that respect. Anyhow, so I did a post on Instagram explaining what the butts were for, and I got so many comments of people saying you should do them. So this is just me letting people know I have them in my shop should you want them, but I'm only going to do them in a 6-inch hoop and a 7-inch hoop size, because that's what my designs have been up till now. My other designs are sort of like more like to go in a frame, you know, the Driving Home for a Christmas one, you know, that wouldn't go in a hoop, would it? So yeah, so I am just going to do it in those two sizes, and I've basically based my sizes on the Elbessy, however you pronounce it, hoops, because those are the ones that I am stocking these days. Even though this one's in this kind of bamboo one, I'm not stocking the bamboo anymore. So yeah, so there's one that is a 7-inch size and one that is a 6-inch size, and it's just a really quick and simple way to finish off your hoop should you wish on both. Yeah, so that is that one. And then the other thing I was just gonna put out there are generally my needle minders, which you can probably see over here, always prove quite popular. You know, there's my little hedgehog one. And so, there's a little squirrel. So as you know, they just, you put one on the front of your fabric, put that on the back, so you've got a nice little thing, and then you can put your needle on there. I haven't actually got a needle here. Anyhow, just so people know, I have been working on new designs, the first of which I'm doing a hare, which is, anybody in my family will laugh at that because they know I hate rabbits and hares. But there you go. I have done, that one's my kind of running, leaping hare, or I've done one that's sort of sat up. I kind of see that one as looking up at the moonlight, but I don't know if that really works. But anyhow, I've done that, and I've also done a butterfly one, which is a little hint of a future kit which should come out hopefully this month. If I get everything pulled together right, there'll be a little butterfly to go with that. And I think that one I might release as a little set to go with the new pattern. So that is all I have to show you today. Those needle minders aren't actually up in my shop at the moment. I was just showing you them. And actually, if you have any preference over which hair I should do, maybe that's what I should be asking, really. Hopefully my face isn't getting in the way of this. Go there. Yeah, because once again, I didn't know which one to do. I think that's all I've got to say, really. If you've got a sweepstake on the Euros, I hope you're winning. I think the last few matches are this weekend. I'm not even sure who's still left in the competition, but I know I did have 6 in the sweepstake. I think I had Portugal, Germany. Can't honestly remember who else I had. But anyhow, there you go. So that's that. Doesn't seem like it's going to be sunny here, so it's not going to be barbecue time. So I guess I'll just focus on getting my little shower room done, getting some jobs done around the house. Maybe it's a good DIY time. But anyhow, I hope you all have fun anyway, whatever you're doing this weekend or in these next few weeks. And I'll hope to come back and see you before the end of July. Maybe, yeah, probably try and do end of July. Hopefully you'll all have fun. Bye.